She had been a whole, she, no, I'm all thrown off. Welcome to the next episode. Oh, it's this episode. It healed something in me a little bit. It made it so that I really understood a little bit more where she was coming from. Hey everyone, welcome to this episode. Oh, it's today's episode. Let's say today's episode. What's up, everyone? Hey everyone, and welcome to today's episode of Unfiltered and Under the Sun, where we discuss a little bit of everything under the sun and we don't hold back. Today's topic is friendship breakups. Womp womp. Have you ever experienced a friendship breakup? I have, and that's kind of what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about my friendship breakup and how I dealt with it, how it happened, what started it, and maybe some learning lessons along the way. So I've never really experienced a friendship breakup before the one I had. Most of my quote unquote friendship breakups have been just the organic drifting apart and leading different lives and talking to each other less every day. It was never a big fight that went on. I've never had like a huge fight with my friends, really. I mean, I have before, but nothing to the point where I'm not friends with them anymore. And this one like probably hurt me the most and probably has left me, kind of moving in my current friendships a little bit differently as well. I'm definitely a lot more scared, because like I said, I've never had a problem with anyone before for real. And anytime there's a misunderstanding, we usually work our way through it. And so now I'm like, dang, like, how do I know when I'm doing the right thing for real? I mean, I guess you can only do your best, but it really did change me. It really did. I have a friend now where she's like me, very low maintenance friend. We can go a few months without talking and then she'll text me, hey, I'm trying to get back in the gym. Do you want to come with? I'm like, yeah, sure. And then we're back on track. Like no time has ever passed. So with her, I told her last time we were on like a hiatus and came back, I was like, I was so scared that I did something to make you mad, because in my last friendship that I felt like was really close, I did something to make her mad that I didn't even realize would make her mad. I didn't even really understand why she was mad. But yeah, so let me just go ahead and start telling the story, okay? So this was while I was in my last relationship, and he got upset with me because of something I said. And he felt like I was acting that way because of this friend. And we got to the point where he ended up blocking her on social media. And when she found out that he had blocked her, she told me, she was like, why would he block me? What did I do? And I was like, oh, he was mad at me and he blamed it on you. And so that's really why he blocked you. And she was like, interesting. And that was the end of that. Or so I thought. I'm kind of texting her, and her responses to me were all very short, and just some of them were also kind of shady. And I thought that was really weird. I was just like, okay, like, she doesn't want to joke around with me right now. That's fine, whatever. I go to this event because she has a performance for a fashion show. And so I made sure to get in the front row in order to support her and sing every word to her song that she performed. It was really fun. I even got like the audience to sing with me. Like, Like, I was just so happy for her. I was so excited. But at the event, she was acting so strange towards me. And I couldn't understand what was going on. I was like, she must be mad at me about something. Like, this is just so weird. The next day, I get a long text from her. It's like a couple of paragraphs. And she was basically saying that the fact that my boyfriend doesn't like her is very weird to her. She talked to other friends of hers, and they all thought it was weird too. They thought it was weird behavior that my boyfriend would be upset with her. And she felt like that is a reflection of me. So I guess the way she was justifying it was, if this person who I don't talk to feels this way about me, then she must be talking shit about me behind my back for him to come to those kinds of conclusions. And I tried to explain to her, like, no, girl, he's just stupid. He does this shit all the time. He comes to the strangest conclusions and says some really dumb shit. So, no, it's not because I was talking shit about you. It's because he's just dumb. He's just stupid. And I guess that wasn't really good enough for her, because a few days later I ended up being blocked. I was devastated. I think I spent like a few weeks every day just crying because I really felt like I lost my soulmate. I thought that we were meant to be just best friends, because I met her when I first moved out here to Arizona. She was the first friend I ever made. We immediately hit it off. It was just so easy with her. We have the same taste in music, same taste in clothes, we loved like doing hair, talking about hair, like everything. Like anytime I had an opinion, she was like same. Anytime she had an opinion, I was like same. So we were just like two peas in a pod. So to lose that devastated me. And I was just like, I've never had a friend be so upset with me before. And I couldn't fix it. And my ex was just like, oh yeah, well, she's doing big things. She's doing like her music thing and doing all her music videos. She's off to bigger and better things, and she's leaving you behind. And I was like, which he was trying to say to humble me. But my response was like, okay, that's one thing. It's one thing for us to just naturally drift apart and for her to decide to go on to bigger and better things. Like, I support her in that. Sometimes that happens. That's one thing, but it's a totally different thing for her to go and block me because she's so upset with me that she doesn't even want to talk it out. So a few months go by and I see her performing at another fashion show. And a few days later, I text her from my Google Voice number because I had a different phone number. So I texted her from that. And I was like, look, it was really hard for me to see you at an event and not be able to say anything. It truly sucked to be like, there she is, but I can't give her a hug. I can't cheer her on. So she agreed to meet up with me, and we met up at this park, talked it out. We hugged, we cried, we told each other how much we love each other, and everything was good. After that, it was really hard for me to act normal. I was really hurt. Even though we did make up and I was really trying, it was just hard for me to act like my normal self because I was like, dang, I genuinely loved her. I literally thought that I found my friend soulmate, And I'm just like, dang, like I was being so genuine with her and she thought it was fake. So is she going to think this shit is fake? I can't even be myself with her because she really thought I was lying to her. She really thought that the love I felt for her was fake. And who's to say that can't happen again? So even though we had made up, it was still so hard for me to just keep going after that. So I end up moving to California. I call her on her birthday, and that's literally the last time I talked to her. I don't know if I had said something in that conversation. I don't know if I did something wrong, but I found out after that phone call that she had blocked me. It was sometime after that phone call. I don't know how long after the phone call it was before she did block me, but that was the last time I talked to her. And so the second time she blocked me after talking to her on her birthday, you know, I was so upset, but it wasn't nearly as bad as the first time around because I was like already used to it. I had already mourned our friendship the first time around. And also I wasn't really feeling it at the time. It was hard for me to really be myself. And so I just kind of like moved on, just moved forward from, just trying. I was just like, she just blocks people. It's whatever. And we can keep going at this point. Like I already had to deal with being blocked by her before. What's new now? But after a few months, I had done a lot of soul searching for myself. Different things were happening. And one day I just realized, I was like, you know what? I kind of get why she blocked me so quickly and why she was so quick to do so. She had been through a whole lot in her life. And, I thought about it. I was like, dang, someone betrayed her trust here. Someone betrayed her trust here. In this instance, someone betrayed her trust. Someone betrayed her trust. There are always people in her life betraying her trust. And even though it wasn't me, I understand why she would react the way that she did. And with that, I could have still been a better friend. I could have explained myself better. I could have made sure that she wasn't feeling like I was talking shit about her behind her back. I just really wish I would have been able to explain my side a little bit more to her. Like, I'm still hurt to this day, obviously, because I'm still talking about it. And it still affects my friendships that I have now. But I'm also like, do I really want a flaky friend? Do I really want to be friends with someone who is so quick to block? Even though, like I said, I understand where it comes from. I understand that she has a whole life story that's tough, and I can empathize with that so much. Like she's been through some crazy shit. And trust issues is like coming out of all that just fine. Like it could have been much worse. So when I realized that, it healed something in me a little bit. It made it so that I really understood a little bit more where she was coming from. When I thought about it that way, I was just like, you know what? Even though it wasn't me, even though there are tons of people that she probably should have been blocking with the quickness, but it's okay. It's probably for the best. I do miss her a lot. Actually, recently she did reach out to me. I don't know if I feel like I probably accidentally like went into her Snapchat story. So maybe I was like watching someone's Snapchat story and then it opened hers. And she saw that I saw her story. She saw the viewers, and she sent me a message and she was like, "Is this Toni?" And I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "This is crazy. I haven't talked to this girl in like 2 years." Yeah, it's me. And she was like, "Oh my gosh, how have you been?" Like, she was being super friendly and talking about us getting together. And I was like hopeful, but scared. I feel like there's a phrase for that. Like cautiously excited or something like that. I was definitely being cautious, but I was definitely excited and open to having a conversation and talking to her and maybe rekindling our friendship. but like so much time has passed, I haven't heard from her. I did invite her to a food festival I was going to, but she was out of town. And yeah, I just haven't heard from her since. But I think she's probably busy with other things, which is okay. We all have lives. But I was just like really surprised to hear from her. So there's friendship breakups, but there's also family breakups. Do you keep your family at a distance or are you super close with them? I feel like I'm like a rubber band when it comes to my family. We are very close. I love them so much, but I do keep them at a distance. Like, obviously, they're way back in Indiana and I'm in Arizona. So we're like thousands of miles apart, but certain things I keep to myself and some things I share with them. The reason why I even moved to Arizona in the first place is because where I'm from, the cycle of life is get married, have children, buy a house, work 9 to 5, do this until you retire, and repeat. And this cycle is so difficult to leave because it's just in everyone's mindset. So I used to be a restaurant manager. I hated telling people that that's what I did for work. It was not my dream. It had nothing to do with anything I wanted to do with my life. In Arizona, I'm embarrassed to tell people that. In Indiana, when I tell people that, they're like, oh my gosh, wow, that's so great. Wow, good for you. That's amazing. And I'm like, yeah. I mean, I guess like, it depends on the person. It could be a blessing for some people. It definitely was a blessing to me. Don't get me wrong. The job was what I needed at the time. And it was really hard for me to leave for a reason. So I'm not trying to like dog anyone out who's a restaurant manager. I'm not trying to dog anyone out whose hopes and dreams are to get married, have kids, work a 9 to 5 until they retire. I'm not trying to dog that out. I'm just saying, like, as a person who doesn't want to live that life, it was really hard to live in an area where that's all everyone else wanted. That's one of the reasons why I left, was because I wanted to get out of that. I needed to get away from people who were thinking with that mentality. I wanted to be around big dreamers. I wanted to be around people who wanted more opportunity and wanted to live life differently. So yeah, I have a very supportive family, but some life lessons and experiences, I had to do this on my own. I had to do it on my own. For example, I took a solo trip to Germany and I didn't tell anyone except my job to get the time requested off. I didn't tell anyone until I was already boarding the plane. Because, for one, it was my first ever solo trip. Like, I had studied abroad before and I was by myself, but it was through the university. So I had people who were coming to meet up with me. I had people who saw me every day and all of that. But when you're doing a solo trip, it's totally different. And so with it being my first solo trip, I also didn't want people to project their fears onto me. So I didn't want people to say like, oh gosh, I could never do that. And aren't you scared of this happening? Or aren't you scared of this happening? Or aren't you afraid that this is going to happen? And I just didn't want any of that to touch me. I wanted to get there and enjoy it and take it in for all what it was. So even though I'm very close with my family, there's different levels to toxicity. There's different levels to cutting people off. There's different levels to friendship breakups. There's different levels to it. And the thing is, you have to set your boundaries and figure out where your balance is. Are you okay with calling your family 3 times a week, or are you more one day a week? Once a month? twice a month. It's up to you. And I know people like to say like, oh, but that's your mother. How could you? You know, some situations there's levels of toxicity. I'm not talking about me personally, but there are people who are like, I can only take my mom to certain extents. Like, I can spend like 3 days with her tops before she drives me crazy. And that's okay. You know that it takes 3 days. So by day 2.5, you know it's time to go. You know what I mean? So there's different levels to the toxicity. Just because there's a little bit, it doesn't always mean to cut the person off 100%. You don't have to be my friend and block everybody. You know, sometimes people do need to get blocked. Sometimes they do. But there are other times where you just have to find that balance of where your boundaries lie and how far you can take that person or those people. But do you have people that you should distance yourself from? Are there people where you feel like, oh, you need to cut them off 100%? Are you a cutoff queen or king? Do you just cut people off? Are you quick to cut people off? Or do you take your time? Do you think you do it too slowly? You also have to think to yourself, do you or are you respecting boundaries? Because if you're like me and you're broken up with, you'll want to ask yourself, like, am I respecting their boundaries? Because I don't think I was respecting my friend's boundaries when I was talking shit about my ex the whole time we hung out. I mean, I would ask her, I'd be like, do you have the capacity? This is when that phrase first came out. Do you have the capacity for me to vent right now? Yes or no? Yes? Okay, cool. We're going to talk about this. So it's not like I'd never asked her, like, is it okay? Can I talk about this real quick? Can I vent? I always ask first. I don't know if I always ask, but I know I did make it a point to ask her to make sure that it was okay that I vented. But I still think that she probably felt like she wasn't in a position to say no, because obviously she was the only person I talked to about it, because I had no other friends. I was definitely isolated, which is why he blamed her for a lot of the stuff that he didn't like that I did. Anytime he disagreed with me about something or anytime we had a disagreement, he thought it was her putting ideas in my mind. And he was just like very sexist and didn't like when I would say certain things that weren't male-centered. So I definitely played a part in my friendship breakup, kind of like what I mentioned earlier. But even though I was the one broken up with, I still try to take that lesson and use it in my current friendships and future friendships, where I have to make sure that I'm respecting their boundaries as well. I have to make sure that I'm doing my part in being a good friend if there are people that I truly care about. Are you respecting boundaries? Make sure you're having those tough conversations. Don't be afraid of letting people know when they've hit your boundary. Don't be afraid of letting people know when you're being misunderstood. Don't be afraid to talk. Don't be afraid to sit down, because what's going to happen? What could possibly happen? Nothing serious. Like, just do it. Just live the life. Live the life. Live your path. Go through your journey. Stop being so afraid of what's going to happen, what could happen, what might happen, because it hasn't happened yet. Why are you afraid of something that might not even happen? I've been living by that recently. I woke up and had a realization, like, just stop feeling fucking shame. Why are you so worried about what everyone else is thinking about you? It doesn't even matter. like something in my brain just like clicked over. It was like, why do you care about what other people think when it's keeping you from being happy? Don't let what other people think stop you from living in your truth and being happy. I don't know if this is the place where I need to be mentioning it. I feel like it should be something that I talk about in another episode, but we'll just leave it here. We'll just leave it here. We're just going to end it here. Thank you all so much for joining me, Toni Solaire, on today's episode of Unfiltered and Under the Sun. And I'll see you all next time. Don't forget to drop in the comments talking about your friendship breakups or your family breakups. Either way, we're here to chit chat. So go ahead and leave your comments. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, share this video out with your friends that you don't want to break up with. And I'll see you all next time.